channel. This is your girl Sean. I'm back for another video, and welcome back to another letter that was sent to me from one of you. Before I get into all of that, in case you're brand new to my channel, you may not know it, but I'm actually a dating coach and the author of 3 books. The first one's called The Dating Game: How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book, Breaking the Man Code: The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book, Getting Unstuck: How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. They're all available on Amazon, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. And if you want to work with me as your personal life and dating coach, or if you'd like to submit a letter for a chance to possibly have it featured in an upcoming video, send me an email to itscoachshawn@gmail.com. That's itscoachshawn, SHAWN @gmail.com. All right, so now without any further ado, let's go get them. Hi, Coach Sean. Thank you so much for reading my letter. My name is, I'm not going to say her name. I have been subscribed to you for years and I love your content. I'm writing to you because I'm a 34-year-old woman with no children and no previous marriages in need of honest advice about my relationship dilemma. So I met my current boyfriend almost 4 years ago at work. He had just started working there, and my coworker of mine who thought he was cute knew I was single and thought she'd play matchmaker and just give him my number. After a few weeks, we began to talk on the phone, and I felt as though he was a decent guy with a good head on his shoulders. I learned that he had come from a somewhat rough background and his father had just died from cancer. Even though he was still dealing with the loss of his father, he said he was getting his life together, first by getting this new job, then by doing things like planning to go back to school, working out, etc. He also stated that he hardly ever drank, never smoked, and didn't smoke weed anymore. During the first month or two of us talking, he dropped a bombshell on me. He said that his ex was pregnant with his baby. He said it happened when he found out that his father had died and he went to go see her, and I guess one thing led to another. I was hurt, but like a dummy, I chose to stay with him because this happened before we started talking. I knew this because she was already a few months along. Fast forward to this present day, I feel stuck, alone, and I'm also feeling stupid. While over the years we have built a fairly good connection and I do love him, he has a ton of baggage that continues to pile on. For starters, he has moved his baby's mother into his house for the second time because of her financial instability without even taking our relationship into consideration. She has threatened to put him on child support on multiple occasions and has even taken him to court, but nothing ever came of it. He always seems to bend over backwards for her. In the midst of all of this, he has been begging to move into my house, saying that it would make our relationship better. I bet it would. You know what? I'm gonna get you. I am doing well for myself. I just bought my first home on my own, and this is the first time I ever lived alone, and I am enjoying it for now. In addition to his living situation, he now has no car because he totaled it one day while leaving work because he was angry at me for not letting him come over to my house. He blamed the crash on me too, by the way. Also, he works a crazy amount of hours to keep up with the bills because he doesn't make a lot. Because of this, we go on like one date every couple of months or so, and over the years, I've only received one gift from him. Basically, he is broke. To top it off, he hasn't successfully completed one college course over the past 3.5 years. He smokes weed every day, multiple times a day, and he spends all of his income after monthly bills on his new obsession, collecting guns, even though he has terrible credit and his credit cards are in collections and he has no transportation. My question to you is, how do I break it off once and for all? I have tried multiple times, and each time he has talked me right back into it. This relationship has caused drama at work with my family. I love him, I care about him, I see his potential, and I would prefer if things work themselves out, but I don't want to waste a ton of time. You already have? You know what? Nope. I have always seen myself being happily married by now. I truly feel like he loves me and he cares for me, and I think he's a good person overall. It would be a hard breaking up with him because I do have to see him every day at work and fight off questions from my coworkers about what's going on, and I worry about feelings of jealousy if he finds somebody else at the job. I've already heard rumors that other women find him attractive. Honestly, I'm also scared of being alone and never finding the right one for me. What should I do? Thank you so much for your advice. Girl, you need it, okay? Now, you know what? There is a lot that I want to talk about in your letter. And oh, I also want to mention the fact that after I read her letter, there was a couple of things that sort of stood out to me. So I actually sent her a follow-up. So huge shout out to her for actually replying. I sent her a follow-up email saying, I'm sorry that I'm just now reading your letter, but I think I will be doing a video about your letter, but I do have a question. You said in your letter that your boyfriend wants to move in with you. Is he suggesting that his child and his baby mother come too? Also, has he ever been violent towards you? The reason why I asked those follow-up questions is because I wanted to make sure that he wasn't sort of planting the seeds of eventually trying to move in the child's mother and the child into the writer's home. And because he also talked about him, you know, recently getting into guns, and now he has a gun collection, I wanted to make sure that he never threatened her with guns. She also talked about in her letter how he got into a car accident because he was angry. So he seems like somebody who's really impulsive, and I wanted to make sure that he wasn't violent. So then she replied to me, my boyfriend wants to let his child and baby's mother remain at his house while he lives in mine. Financially, he wouldn't even be able to do that because he can barely pay his own bills, let alone help me with mine. His baby's mother gives him $250 for rent sometimes, but she gives him nothing towards the other bills. I think he wants to live with me because I have a more comfortable place to stay because of his home's poor condition. He has rats, mice, insects, and everything else. So he tells the writer that he wants to stay with her because they would be able to spend more time together, and that he's never been violent towards her. So I know this is a lot, but that's definitely why I wanted to get into it. There's a lot that I want to cover. There are some men who are looking for love, and there are some men who are looking for help. And he sounds like he's looking for help. You said he can barely handle his own bills, but yet he's opened up his home to take care of his child's mother and his child. And so that he wants to leave his home and all his responsibility and live with you when he can't even afford to help you with the bills. You're taking on a lot for some random dude. And you talk about you don't want to waste a ton of time. You've already let this go on far too long. Years and years and years. You're talking about one date every couple of months. You guys have been together for all these years. He only got you one gift. He has bad credit, broke, living with his child's mother and son. Lord knows what's going on over there. And now he wants to come live with you and mooch off of you. Some men attach themselves to women like you because they see you as their way out. And as long as all you require is their love, then that's a cheap price to pay. I feel like you had everything going for yourself. You got a nice job, you got a nice car, you got your own house. You are doing amazing. Why would you open the door to all this man and his drama just because he's attractive? You said all the ladies around the job think he's attractive, and the reason why the coworker even hooked you up with him in the beginning was because he was attractive. Cute can only get you so far. What is cute gonna do when they're threatening to cut off your heat? What is cute gonna do when they're talking about taking your house? What is cute gonna do when they're threatening to repossess your car? Cute can only get you so far. That's all he seems to have. Then he seems like he has a bad temper, so he crashed his car because he was angry at you, and then he blamed that on you? So you're gonna let this man with anger issues, who now collects guns as his hobby, into your happy life? Girl, if you don't let this man go, all he's gonna do, he will find somebody else at the job. He will. And she will be the kind of woman who will put up with all of this and let him live with her while she's paying for him and his bills, and while he's spending all his little bit of money on the child's mother and all of that. Like, he lives in a rat-infested, insect-infested home. He has no vehicle. He can barely pay his own bills, but he loves you, so you're going to let all that in. So, and is it really love? Is it really love when he needs that much from you? This man is setting you up to use you. He wants to know if your self-esteem is low enough that you'll pay for his love. Because if you let him in and you provide shelter and food and share your transportation and let him ride with you to work and pay for the groceries, if you do all of that, you'll be buying his love. He is the definition of a man that has nothing to offer you. He came to you with pipe dreams and no evidence, and you fell for it. You said when you first met him, you thought he had a good head on his shoulders because he gave you game, okay? He gave you $1 million worth of game and couldn't pay for none of it. Oh, I'm gonna go back to school. In 3.5 years, hadn't taken one course. I'm gonna work out. Bet he wasn't doing that either. I don't drink, I don't smoke. Now he smokes every day, multiple times a day. Everything he told you in the beginning was game. And once you realize that that's what it was, you should have cut him off then. You already spent too much time with this man. He has nothing to offer you except drama, okay? Drama. You could have been living peacefully, living your best life, flourishing out here with your home and your car and your good job and your good credit and everything else you got going for yourself. But instead, you open the door to all these shenanigans because of fear, because you're afraid that you won't find better. You couldn't possibly do worse. If you were 20-something saying these things, I would give you a little bit more grace. But at 34 years old, you letting him get away with all of this because he's cute. Girl, what is cute gonna do for you? He is not looking for love. he's looking for help. He's looking for somebody who can help his financial situation. And if that means he has to lay up with you, if that means he has to live with you, this man he got his bags packed, ready to leave his roach-infested house with his child and his child's mother in it, ready to drop his bags off in your home. No, ma'am. This man wants to use you. He's already made his way into your heart. He's already made his way into your bed. Next, he's going to make his way into your house, and then he's going to make his way into your pocket. It's all a plan. A man should never be worrying about what you have as a woman. This has nothing to do with being a gold digger, has nothing to do with any of that. But a man should not be worrying about a woman's pockets. How could you ever be a provider? How could you ever lead a family when you're horrible with money? Like, certain things have to be deal breakers the older you get. When you're like young, maybe you're 16, he just has to have a car and be cute. And then when you get a little bit older, when you're like 21, he has to have a car, a job, and be cute. Maybe you're 25, car, job, cute, have his own place. But the older you get, the more you require. Because at some point, being broke is immature. Being broke is childish at a certain age, especially for a man. Like, what are you bringing to any woman's table? You got all these bags, literally and figuratively. He got his baggage ready to drop it off at your house. Like, at some point, he's going to need some help with that. You said he can barely take care of the bills now. At some point, when you're living with him, he's going to need to borrow a couple of dollars from you to help them over there. This is what happens when your standards are flexible. When they're flexible and not set in stone, a man will test them. He will test them early, and he will test them often. You let him get away with a lot. How a man going to woo you, dating you, and taking you on dates once every couple of months? How is that wooing me? Like, what do you require from a man? That he likes you? That he's cute? You need to require more. And if you already live in a great, amazing, stress-free life, why would you open the door to something? There are more men out there. Your desperation and your fear has blinded you and put rose-colored glasses on you and made you feel like this guy is amazing. He's really not. At some point, life is going to shake you so hard, those rose-colored glasses are going to fall off, okay? You were looking for love, and you thought you saw it. But sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel is actually an oncoming train, okay? And that's what's going on here. He is going to drop off his figurative and literal luggage on your doorstep if you let him. There are too many men running around here loose for this raggedy dude with nothing to offer, with a bad temper, and his gun collection to be getting this far in your life. You're going to have to pay for him. You're going to have to pay for his love. You're going to have to be the big, strong provider. You can see that already. You want a man so bad that you're going to all of a sudden take on the masculine role? He can't take you anywhere, can't do anything for you. He literally came to you with nothing. Do I think you should let this man go? Absolutely. I think you should have been let this man go. As soon as you realize that he had absolutely nothing to offer you, and instead of adding to your life, he's willing to make withdrawals from your life. He sees you and what you have, and he's looking at you like the big, strong provider that can save him from what's going on in his life. It is not our job to save men. When a man really wants to be with a woman and his life isn't together, he will start getting it together. You'll see the effort. Like he talked about in the beginning, how he was going to go back to school, and he was going to do this, he's going to start working out. He didn't do any of it because you didn't require any of it, so he didn't do it. He told you in the beginning, I don't drink, I don't smoke, but then he started smoking again. He knew from how eager you were to be with him, he really didn't have to do any of those things. Whatever it is that you require from a man, he will do if he's into you. That's one of the signs you know that a man is not into you, when nothing changes, when he's not trying to better himself for you. So he can make sure that he stands out from other men as the best candidate for you. If he was really into you, all the things he talked about, he would be doing. He would be going back to school. He'd be working out. He'd be whatever he had to do. When he realized he didn't have to do anything extra to be with you, that's when he didn't. A lot of this is because of you. Gotta be real. You accepted little, so he gave you little. This is the kind of situation that you hear about when a man has been with a woman for years and years and years, and nothing ever changes. He meets a new woman, he gets his life together in like 6 months, next thing you know, he's engaged. And you're like, what? When we were dating, he didn't do any of that. You didn't require it, that's why. He knew he had to get his life together. He had to step his game up to be with her. A man should always be hustling. That's how you know that a man is into you. Do you see his hustle to be better? To show you that he's a great man? Do you see his hustle to separate himself from any other man you've ever dated? Do you see some hustle? When you don't see any movement out of a man, he's gotten too comfortable. And when you see there's no movement out of a man and you've been dating him 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, no hustle? Man, he's not into you. He's not into you. I don't think he's into you, but he is into what you can do for him. And that's a user. Always has been, always will be. You're not losing when you lose a loser, okay? All right, that is pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to thumbs up if you did. If you want to hear more of my thoughts and opinions on life and love, consider purchasing one of my books. As I said in the beginning, I've written 3. The first one's called The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book, Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book, Getting Unstuck, How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. They're all available on Amazon, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. And if you want to work with me as your personal life and dating coach, or if you'd like to submit a letter for a chance to possibly have it featured in an upcoming video, send me an email to itscoachshawn@gmail.com. That's itscoachshawn, SHAWN @gmail.com. If you like this video, you'll love my last one. I'll do you a favor and I'll link it for you right here. Be sure to subscribe right here. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.